Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we are on 2022.44.25.5 or FSD beta 10.69.25. We're heading out to the west right now. We're doing a test where we can see if we have a lot of phantom braking in FSD beta. So this is going to be an interesting test, a little bit different. So I'm going to be shooting for a long time, but I will be editing and chiming in every now and then to comment if there is any phantom braking or anything unusual that happens. So there's a lot of complaints about phantom braking, and that happens a lot on the Tesla Alberta group. And it also gets mentioned so many places on Twitter and so on. So if you're interested to see if that does actually exist, or maybe it could be dependent on user to user, or if it's an FSD build issue or a software issue, this test could probably help a little bit clarify that. So yeah, if that's something you want to watch, or you know, I've got many different other types of videos. I've got guides and I've got FSD beta test drives. So please like my channel, like my video, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification button for more videos of this kind of type, and I'll just chime in whenever there's any unusual thing that could happen. A little bit slow on the takeoff here, very slow acceleration. All right. It's very slushy conditions right now. We had a very cold few days. I think around -22 Fahrenheit or -30 degrees Celsius. And I'm just gonna bump up the speed over here because a lot of people will be driving fast over here. So FSD, interestingly, FSD beta likes to take the left lane over here for some reason. I was on the right lane, but it kind of switched to the left lane. So I'm not really sure what's the basis behind that. The other thing also about phantom braking is that, so there was a very slight brake over there. So yeah, okay, so now we're reporting speeds of 70 kilometers an hour. I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna give it a right signal kind of intervention here, just to take us to the side, since we're on the fast lane. So conditions are very moist right now. A lot of water and a lot of snow is falling, basically, because we're in the +3 degrees today, and we have a couple of days of warm winds coming from the mountains nearby, the Rocky Mountains. So it's going to help melt all the snow. So in these conditions, I use FSD beta. I don't really have a lot of issues. The marking on the road is clear. Another thing is that FSD beta, when it uses the auto wipers by itself, it doesn't use the washer fluid. It just wipes. And then if you have a lot of, you know, like water that's coming from the cars in front of us, it kind of like smears on the windshield, and it doesn't really help it that much. So it'll be very nice if FSD beta actually uses a little bit of washer fluid in these conditions. Maybe something the FSD beta team can take a look into in the future. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix my autopilot speed over here. Keep it on a +5, and let's stick with that for this test. I know if you go above, so why does it want to change lanes here? I'm not really sure. Yeah, this lane is ending, so that's not gonna help us. Let's see if it does change lanes by itself. So yeah, that wasn't really good. The lane markings is not clear, so it doesn't really it should start reading lane ending signs and trying to merge whenever it sees one of those. That's one of the things that I would like to disengage on, you know, just to send that feedback back to the FSD beta team. So yeah, the other thing I was mentioning is that when we're above the speed limit of a road, like if we're doing 5 over, it kind of tends to phantom brake a little bit more, and it's not a lot of, it's kind of like just tapping on the brake. It's not extensive. I haven't in my experience seen aggressive braking, like slamming on the brakes completely and locking the wheels or anything like that, like from FSD or from Autopilot. So yeah. So in this case, what we had as kind of like an intersection on the highway, and the car was turning into the highway. Those are the areas where I feel a little bit of phantom brake, and that's just FSD is trying to maybe like let go of the gas just for a bit, or the acceleration for a bit, just to see what that car is actually doing. So we've got an overtake scenario over here. I'm driving 85. I think the speed limit is 80. So the other situation where we'll have some sort of phantom braking is when we have like a hilly area like that. So the road's going up, and then cars are disappearing, or cars are appearing all of a sudden on the incoming lane next to us. So right now we're at 85. It's very steady acceleration. No change so far. Pretty good. So cars appearing right now in front of us. Our acceleration steady. No issues. So we're coming up to an intersection over here. Again, I used to get a lot of phantom braking and even like sometimes sharp steering to the left or right at these intersections, even though we're going straight ahead. Let's see how it does. Very steady. There's a car approaching on the right hand side. Let's see if FSD Beta is going to slow down a bit. When he crosses in front of us, and the car slows down a little bit. Well, I mean, that wasn't really, I feel like that's okay. Like that's just precautionary slow down for if the car in front of us doesn't actually make it or so on. So now we've got the speed limit of 100 kilometers an hour, so we've bumped up to 105 and we're speeding. There's a car also behind me. Now you can actually see it here on the visualization, but it's actually a truck. It's not a... Yeah, interesting. Even though my backup camera is so dirty. As you can see here, my backup camera is very dirty. So I wonder how FSD Beta recognizes those cars behind us. Well, now it doesn't show anymore for some reason. So I'm sorry if the audio on this video is not that great. It's because we're going fast, and also my backup mic is not working anymore. So please bear with me with the GoPro audio on this one. Little bit of a slowdown, but it didn't even decrease the speed. I'm watching the speed, it's 105 and it's steady. So we are coming up to an intersection and we are going to take a left over here. Let's see how FSD Beta is gonna do. Nice slowdown. It takes the right exit over here. It kind of was trying to take the left over there, but it's a lot of braking, a lot of harsh braking. And it goes for a complete stop. It's not a very smooth transition going from high speeds to that, so it should be our turn to go right now. Nice commit and a sharp left. Nicely done, nicely done. Yeah, the transition from slowing down from 105 to 0 on a very important intersection was like that, was not, a very smooth transition. It kind of went over the muddy area as well and started slamming on the brakes more because it was losing traction. But yeah, it handled it well. I was ready to take over, but it handled it well. Good job. And now we're going back up to 95 kilometers an hour. Just gonna clean the windshield a little bit over here just for myself. So someone was overtaking me right now, and what FSD Beta did on a two-way street, what FSD Beta did is it kind of like swayed a little bit to the right while it was doing that. You know, I find that it's okay. There's no issue with that. I only find it an issue if the side, you know, our side over here is kind of like goes down to a ditch. So if it's slippery, icy conditions, I don't like it doing that, to be honest. There is another car behind us right now. It's showing it on the visualization. You can see the car behind us, but it's popping in and out. It's not very constant. It's not there anymore. So anyways, there's a truck behind us right now. I think it was thinking of overtaking us as well, but it got busy. All right, so what's happening right now is we're going to reach an intersection where we have where we're joining the main Trans-Canada Highway, and then what happens is that FSD Beta stack is going to disappear, and we're going to have navigate on Autopilot, or just the Autopilot stack. So yeah, let's see how this exit's gonna be handled, and the transition from the FSD Beta stack to the Autopilot stack. So now Elon Musk is saying with version 11 of FSD Beta, we're going to have a single stack where FSD Beta will be all over, used everywhere, even on the navigate on Autopilot. But for the sake of this video, I also want to see if we get any phantom braking from Autopilot. So I'll continue to shoot maybe for another few kilometers when I go onto the highway, and we'll see if we have any phantom braking. So we should be taking this exit over here, and it's gonna miss it. Is it gonna miss it? It's signaling. Yeah, it kind of misses it. So that wasn't good. I disengaged for that. Let's try and engage from here. Okay, so it's deciding to go 80 over here. There is a merge. Kind of flies through it. There was no cars, so it didn't really stop for anything. And then it detects 115. We're still on the ramp, so I'm not really happy that it's going all the way to 115 on the ramp. But I'll let it do it. The roads are okay. Yeah, so for some reason FSD Beta was going to the left, to the right a lot. So I wasn't happy with that, disengaged at those speeds. And now it should merge. Yeah, and it didn't really merge in those high speeds, so not very happy with that. Another disengagement. And that is a tricky one, because as a FSD Beta tester, I don't really test FSD in high speeds like that, but the transition from the ramp to the highway, it should be way more smoother. Merges and yields are still like very finicky in FSD Beta. So I'm not really sure what's happening. Like, they really need to get that done before version 11's out. Yeah, it's very tricky. So I'll monitor our speed right now. We are on Autopilot stack. I'll monitor our speed and see if we do end up with any phantom brakes, and I'll chime in. But I'll fast forward from here. So we have some sort of a downhill right now. The elevation's going down. FSD Beta's, Autopilot, sorry, still okay. No phantom brakes. So it wants me to change lanes over here, but I'm just gonna ignore it. Not sure how to. I'll just ignore it and it'll go away. But this is one of the other tests. One of the areas where we see a lot of phantom brakes is when there's a car in front of us that we're following. And it's braking here just because the car turned to changed lane to the turning lane, and then we're accelerating again. Not too bad, like not too worried about that. That's okay, precautionary braking. went down from 115 kilometers an hour to down to 105. Not very aggressive. If there was a car behind me, it would be okay still. So again, it's asking me to change lanes to follow route, but that's really, I mean, we are in the second lane and it's a 2-lane highway that goes all the way to Strathmore, so that's just bad map data. They need to fix that stuff. And if I had like autopilot or lane change on without confirmation, then it would just change lanes here. And if I'm doing 115 kilometers an hour, I don't want to be on the first lane, because the speed limit is 110 and a lot of folks do 120 or 125. So yeah, not really sure why it does that. No slowdown there for this intersection that we just passed as well. There's a car coming up behind me. It's probably going to try to overtake me right now. We are also coming up over a hill, and yeah, like there was no cars visible, and now you can see cars far away. Still no issues, no phantom braking. So not really sure, maybe I'm just striking good luck here in this drive, but so far there's no phantom braking on FSD or Autopilot stack. So we've arrived here at Strathmore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go left and head back right now. So it's supposed to take this exit. Very late merge into the turning lane. And a little bit of sliding going on. So it's not going to do our U-turn or anything crazy like that. What it's going to do is going to turn here and then go from an internal road and take the next exit out. So I'll let it do it. Let's see how it does. Okay, so we've got the green light. We should be headed for this. Alright, nicely done. And then it should really turn over here. Okay, that's also nicely done. A lot of sliding there. I wasn't too worried because the steering wheel was actually very going for a very sharp right, but it kind of went over that icy patch over there, and so made it slide a lot. So that's okay though. It's a little bit of a ballsy move, but alright, so there's a stop sign here. It should come to a complete stop. Then let's see how it handles this merge into a high-speed road.